to the CAP podcast. Before the break, we were talking to Michelle Patterson about the state of women leadership in America today. And that sort of led to how she told a little bit about her story of how she moved out of corporate America and started working on a foundation that helps women. And I know that that probably is part of what led to the women's conference. Now, I've heard your story of how you have this sort of beautiful storyline with George Dukmajian. And I would love for you to share that because that kind of leads into the women's conference.
So it actually has just been a fun ride. And again, I'm one of those people, I believe in there are no accidents. So when this conference, it actually was canceled, the governor's office, due to budget cuts, they decided to no longer support this event, and it got canceled. And so I started receiving phone calls. And what was so interesting, I thought, oh my gosh, that's the same conference. And the calls that were coming through was, can you take this on? You produce events of 25,000. Can you take this on? Well, it happened to be, it's the same conference that was started 29 years ago. The same year I interviewed the governor, Governor George Dukmajian, that started the conference for the 8th grade school paper. And you can go to our site, you see these pictures of me, little buck teeth, and this really, very shy kid, and I'm interviewing him, and I'm asking him, very, very important questions like, what's your favorite pastime? How many kids do you have? And Governor Dukmajian, he looks at me and he says, Michelle, that was the best interview I've ever heard. And for me, it was the first time that somebody, outside of my immediate family, told me that I matter. Right. And that I'm important, and the world needs me. And I can remember from that point on, you'd ask me, and well, what do you want to be when you grow up? I want to be governor, and I was student body president of my high school. I ran for student body president, was elected as a junior for president Loyola Marymount. I worked in Sacramento. And so when this conference came along, I thought, wow, here, somebody that inspired me, here I have the opportunity to continue on this legacy. And you look at, Maria Shriver, who took it to a whole new level and really did some great things. And what we were talking about is, it's a platform. The reason it was started 29 years ago was to give women the resources and the tools to be successful at the time, and no different from now. But women were opening up businesses, and they were failing at a rapid rate. And so the governor decided, let's put this in place so that we can have all these great resources. And so when you go to the conference, not only are you able to focus on your career, but we look at all 5 elements to leading this thriving life. So we look at career, how you spend your time, social, the relationships that you have, financial is just, having the means to do the things that you want to do. Mm-hmm. We look at community is, are you, working on your purpose, and we're happiest when we're doing that. We also look at just physical, having the energy to be able to do the things you want. And so Gallup poll and Strength Finder is one of our sponsors. And we looked at their studies from what they've done for the last 50 years and found that you have to have all 5 elements represented and integrated. And it might not be that you're doing all 5 at the same time, but you're integrating them. And that's the formula for having this amazing, thriving life. And that's what we teach at the conference. We have speakers from all over the world that are coming in. I'm really, really excited because for me, I'm all about, how do I learn, but also have it be fun. And so this is the world's biggest business party that you'll ever go to. So my friends always laugh. They go, you always end up adding that element of just, the entertainment and the excitement. Right. So this year we've got a concert that's happening on Monday night and Tuesday night. We've got some amazing artists. Sarah Blaine, she's doing her new single, Dance with the Devil. We've got Mary Lambert, who's performing her solo, She Keeps Me Warm. Nathan Osmond, one of the Osmond Brothers, who's coming out, and he's got his #1 hits that are out. So it's really, really exciting just to have this whole piece that's coming in. Another, example of how it's women supporting women and what we're doing is we've got a panel that's set up, and that panel collectively reaches over 100 million subscribers.
Wow.
And
Right.
yeah, so let me tell you about that. So I reached out to Huffington Post and pulled in Ariana Huffington, pulled in the CEO for the Daily Worth, which is Amanda Steinberg, reached out to empower her. So Michelle Robson reached out to Blogger and Alyssa, who's there, and pulled in this group. And we have Women Network, who were the new kids on the block. And so we've got Jane Pauley, who's moderating this piece. But when the audience is looking up, there, that represents, and talk about a great example of just women coming together and not going in with this mindset of, I've got to work independently, I've got to be by myself. You're part of a larger community, engage and be a part of this. So there's just some really, neat things, here we've got 8, breakout rooms, 300 exhibit booths. So this very much of an interactive. We're setting up mentors with mentees and working with Women Evolution. We've got our very first women's hackathon. So we've got Wonder Woman hacks. Everybody has the same response, except for if you're 20. You're in the 20-something crowd, you know exactly what I'm referring to. But a hackathon, it's literally bringing the world's top programmers together.
Right.
And they create like some amazing, amazing things through this hackathon. So they're doing applications, programming. So just a lot of really, 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 really cool things that are taking place.